Imagine a world full of idiots. Idiots that like to talk. Well, now you don't have to. You don't have to imagine anymore what that would look like. If idiots came to life and they just decided to speak their opinion, well, now you can. Introducing Step Bros.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your least favorite podcast, the Step Brothers, and we have your secondary host right here. What's
I'm
your
D
name?
Spider.
And I'm Masu Tifu. And yeah, tell us a little bit about ourselves, and I'll let D Spider go ahead and go first.
So I'm D Spider. I'm a disabled gamer. I like to hunt and fish. I am a Christian streamer as well, so I try to shed a little bit of light on Christ while I stream. And but I still like to have a good time and hang out with friends and make jokes.
Nice. Well, if you guys don't know who I am Masu Tifu. Um, I'm a chill guy, at least I try to be. I just love doing what I can do best. I ride motorcycles, I stream games, and yeah. So, D Spider, you have a topic for us
I do.
to
I
begin with?
do. This is gonna be a very controversial topic, okay? So I'm
Oh
just
God,
warning you, if you guys are politically sensitive, please do not watch our our podcasts because we
we're skipping
will
this here.
be getting deep into this subject. All right.
I should probably just not stream for this then.
So my topic is Trump a good guy?
Okay.
All right. First, let's start with the pros cuz you got to start with the pros and then go into the cons. Let's start with all of the accomplishments of Trump before he ran. Okay? Trump was, I don't know if you guys know this, but he was well known for being a businessman, and he has lots of hotels all over the place in Las Vegas, New York, Manhattan, Atlantic City,
He
all
was
those.
also an actor.
Sorry?
He was also an actor.
Yeah, he acted
If you didn't know that.
in a show, but it was kind of like a reality TV show, even though it was, I'm pretty sure it was all made up. But
Oh,
what was it called again? It was like, what was the show called?
hold on,
I
hold on. I
had
got
it.
this. I got this. I'll
I
say
had it on
what
the top of my
was.
head, dude.
You even had it all readied up and everything. Here, keep going, and I'll search it up for you.
Anyways, so what Chat GPT has to say about him is his accomplishments before he ran for office was he built a high profile real estate empire. His examples of where he built those empires were in Manhattan, Atlantic City, and etc. He became a well known public figure. But he did also have a lot of controversies. He hosted a reality TV show, The Apprentice. I knew I wrote it down, read it.
There's a lot more
Wait,
than
really?
there is than the
I
Apprentice.
know
Yeah.
that he like
So
made appearances, but I don't think he was like an actual character on him.
no, there's a lot of
Really?
shows and yeah. So like he acted in himself on the movies Ghosts Can't Do It, Home Alone 2,
Yeah, I remember him on Home Alone too.
um Across the Sea of Time, Little Rascals as Waldo Johnson II, um Eddie the Associate on the movie 54. He was a VIP patron. And then dude, there's a lot. Holy crap.
I didn't know there was that
Oh,
much.
there's
Why is my dog barking? Duke, shut up! I'm gonna get
I
the
guess
you know the meme of that guy who's shocking the fuck out of his dog that gets off his dog bed.
what?
Have you never seen that?
No, I haven't.
No, you okay? I'm gonna find it.
Dude, oh my god. So there's some Playboy videos of him playing as himself in 1994, 2000, and 2001 as adult films for Playboy Centerfold, Playboy Video Centerfold, Playmates 2000, Benorla Twins. What the hell? And then untitled Playboy video featuring Betsy Johnson. Ew. Oh. Yeah, no, but I mean, like I'm like scrolling through this, man, and there's hundreds of shows that he's been in, hundreds of movies and shows.
Let's watch. Hold on, I gotta
So-
show you this now. That's
Oh
crazy. I
God,
didn't know he was in a Playboy though. Hold on, let me share
he's
my
in 3.
screen.
He's in 3, so that's
Oh shit.
shocking.
Why don't I ever get to be in Playboy? No, I'm joking.
When's my turn, guys?
When is it my turn? All right. So we're gonna react to XQC's reaction. Wait, no, hold on. That wasn't.
XQC's?
No, watch.
Chaya, please just fucking go. Just stop.
I had to debunk it. You see the arm movement? Looking. A
my
little
God,
bit
now you're
more.
screwed.
Now it stops now.
Look at how the dog jumps though.
Guys,
About your
99%.
stream.
It looks pretty.
I don't want to show the video because it's kind of animal
You're not
cruelty.
even broadcasting. Oh wait, no, you are.
I
Okay,
am. Oh,
sorry.
you're such an idiot. No, but watch the dog's reaction when he shocks the shit out of him.
Chaya, please just fucking go. Just stop.
I had to debunk.
Oh, dude, that's so mean though. No, but I'm not gonna show it on like actual stream just because I don't want
Holy shit.
an animal cruelty strike. Nah.
Dude,
All right.
that's crazy.
Anywho,
Yeah, anyways, back to the topic before
back to the topic. Before I forget again. Oopsie.
so he's done some good and bad things, of course.
Yeah, with his previous past, and then on what else I had written down was he actually posts a lot about his previous career on Trump.com before he even ran for president. So this was back in like the 90s when he wrote this, and it says, Mr. Trump started a business career in an office he shared with his father in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn, New York. He worked with his father for 5 years where they were busy making deals together. Mr. Trump has been quoted saying, My father was my mentor and I learned tremendous amounts about every aspect of the construction industry from him. Likewise, Fred C. Trump often stated that some of my best deals were made by my son Donald. Everything he touched seems to turn to gold. Mr. Trump then entered the very different world of Manhattan real estate. So basically, from what we understand, and you have to understand that his father still to this day is known as a very well respected man in the business industry. So you can find that quote on the Trump.com website if you guys were wondering where I got that information. And of course it's a website owned by Trump, so you can't trust everything it says on it, but I do think it's very trustworthy because I have other websites that I found that pretty much say the same thing. Because he was well known as a good businessman before he went into politics. All things aside politically, he's a very good businessman, you know?
Well, I mean, on certain notes though, because
Yeah.
I mean, he did like the thing that he got like most of those felonies from
Yeah.
are from him screwing over other businesses, then getting sued for falsifying checks and stuff like that. Because like he was convicted of 34 felonies on the lines of his business records. Which I mean, don't get me wrong, he did a really well job being a businessman, but he also did, and I'm not saying that it was always him, but it could have been like also from his like other part of his team, you know? And like that could have been a whole different thing if they like what's the best way to put it?
When you're
it could've-
talking about his 34 felonies, are you talking about his 34 felonies that never fell through? Because he doesn't technically, still to this day, he doesn't have any felonies that actually went through court. Therefore, meaning that he won the case because all of his charges were dropped.
Well, no, well the thing is that all the verdicts caught him guilty from February till December of 2017. And the thing is that he got pardoned for most of them.
Yeah.
So I like for me like I'm not saying like because I'm not politically involved. I don't give a shit about politics. But
Yeah.
like
Cause that was
like
actually gonna be my next thing in the cons for his accomplishments before he ran, was I was actually gonna talk about his deposition on his business deals, because I gathered as much information as I could on like reliable sources. But do you mind if I read those?
go ahead, go ahead.
So, New York versus Trump is a civil investigation and lawsuit by the Office of the New York Attorney General, alleging that individuals and business entities within the Trump organization engaged in financial fraud by presenting vastly desperate property values to potential leaders and tax officials in violation of New York's Executive Law 63-12. The defendants were Donald Trump, 5 individuals, including 3 of his children, the 10 business entities, including some that owned property in New York, Florida, and Chicago. After the trial took place from October 2023 and January 2024, presenting Judge Arthur N. Goron, I think that's how you say his name, ordered the defendant of disgorge a total of US dollars 364 millions of ill-gotten gains, among other penalties, but an appeal court in August 2025 violated this penalty. And I got that off of Wikipedia. But I also backed up the information off of ChatGPT, asking them if they could find other sources that were linked to it. So basically what that's saying is that they did find 364 million ill-gotten gains. So that's gains where they don't know where the money had come from. At least I believe that's what the definition is. I'll have to put that in ChatGPT
Yeah,
later.
it is.
But basically what that means is that they found that and they were trying to find out if it was illegal terms of making money. So that could be anywhere from drug dealing to just bad business, you know. But the court, which they had tried to persecute him to the fullest extent, and also Biden was funding the investigation. An appeals court did not find that Donald Trump won the fraud case, but did eliminate over $500,000 penalty, momentary penalty. So basically, what's that saying is that he won the fraud case, but technically it's a $500 million momentary penalty. So basically, he had to pay $500,000 to put off the case until probably after his presidency, because I think he was trying to say that it was going to mess with his presidency. And so technically, he did win the case in court, but he still has to deal with it after his presidency is over. And so who knows what he'll try to hide while he's in office, if he is guilty of those things, of those crimes. But I don't know. That's why I consider myself conservative, because I try to conduct my political beliefs based off of what I learn, not based off of what I think, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, like honestly, like I think that's like the best way to go along with politics is that like it shouldn't just be on what you believe. It should also be the things that are like actual facts that is backed up with evidence so then we can have a full thing. Like we don't want a one-sided fight. Like if me and you got into an argument on, let's say, fucking chips and crackers, which one's
Yeah,
better, chips or crackers? We
yeah,
like that is a false thing where that could be like the main point of where politics is going to this day,
yeah,
is that there's no substantial evidence on which one is going to be better for you. But yet, if we're talking about like the opinion on everything,
yeah,
and this is the opinion for which one's better, then that's a different part where that could be learned as evidence. Most people consider chips better than crackers or vice versa, you know. God, my fat ass is hungry.
Made me hungry too, dude. No, but
Yeah.
if you want to know, like, all right, I'm gonna go into the second topic of Trump. If you're cool with that, just move on.
Yeah.
So because I was kind of interested in this because I've heard it from like Fox News, I've heard it from independent media sources of all of his accomplishments, but I'm actually interested to hear what his actual accomplishments were because a lot of them were just talking about things that people mumbled, they mumbled, oh, he did this, he did that, and you can never get a true source. And so I just was doing some digging the other day, and I put everything together that I could find and I put it in ChatGPT to see if it could help me kind of pick out the key areas of accomplishments. And it said, here is a summary of some major accomplishments of Donald Trump during his first presidential term. This is his term of 2017 to 2021. And it says, so key accomplishments were, so for the economics and job growth, he signed a Tax Cuts and Job Acts of 2017 described by his administration as the largest cut tax in US history, and was later found that it actually was one of the largest tax cuts by numbers, but by percentage, weirdly enough, it hasn't happened since I think 1776, which was Revolutionary War, when we stopped doing paying taxes to the British. So, but in U.S. history, while we've been a country, it's known as one of the biggest tax cuts, which I think tax cuts are a really good thing, especially when you're talking about our economy. Tax cuts are always good because basically it's like a Robin Hood standard because you're taking from the rich and giving it to the poor almost, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
instead of adding on to funds that we don't need to even pay, like for paying for things, for example, sending money to a country that maybe not everybody agrees sending money to. And so that's how I look at it, at least. And then it says during his first 2 years, the administration reported the GDP growth by 3% in multiple quarters and unemployment falling under 4% at times. So basically what that means is that the growth of people growing their money and their financial stability grew, and then also unemployment started to fall. It fell by 4%. Um, and of course, doesn't sound like a huge number, but to how many people are unemployed in the United States, at least, that is actually a huge number if you think about it. And
Yeah.
then for the third thing, for the economics, the administration reports more than $6 million, or sorry, not dollars, 6 million workers benefited from tax cut bonuses under those reforms. So that's basically saying that 6 million different workers, whether it's blue collar, white collar, whatever they were, but just true hard working Americans benefited from the tax cut bonuses under those reforms, which is all good and stuff. And, other presidents have been able to accomplish things like this before. And so it's not really proving much other than, yeah, that was good. So that is something good that he did for the economics, at least. So do you have anything to add on that?
Well, I mean, like on top of all of that too, because like for me, I like how he secured the border a little bit more,
Yeah.
like with like the Lincoln Riley Act
Yeah.
and the deporting of immigrant killers. I'm not gonna say the full word, but grapists,
Yeah.
drug dealers, and massy, like stuff like that. Because like for me, I love people that want to come in and possibly change their lives for the better, but yet you
Exactly.
have to get like they have to do it legally, you know, because like if I went over towards, I don't know, fucking Japan or something, and I'm there illegally, what's gonna happen? They're gonna send me back to where I am.
Exactly.
It's not only the U.S. that's doing it. That's what people need to notice is that it's not the U.S. that's doing it, it's other countries as well.
Exactly.
Um, but like with the Lake and Riley Act, it was the law of illegal immigrants arrested and charged with theft or violence to be detained. because the last time, like the reason why that act came into law was because of the same person, Laken Riley, who was actually a Georgia college student who got murdered from illegal immigrants that was released into the country.
Exactly. And
So
like I agree with that. I agree with most of his foreign policies. I think he's a little bit strict on the time and how much work it takes to just become a citizen and be able to work a job. I think that
Oh
if he
yeah.
was going to change anything, I would probably change that. But other than that, I totally agree with deportation as long as it's a lawful deportation, if that makes sense. And so
Yeah.
that basically means anybody who came in illegally and instead of applying for citizenship, they just continued to live in our country illegally. Because it's actually by our law, it says that we are allowed to come into the country illegally if we're escaping from religious or political persecution from another country, or even just being mistreated by another country. We can come in illegally if we have to. The only thing is that we immediately have to go apply for citizenship, otherwise it's not legitimate. And then it's also another thing that I think he could work on is figuring out how to spread information out to people because there's so much false information out now, and especially with social media. I mean, you look at social media and they're talking about how don't go apply for citizenship because you'll get deported immediately, and that's not how it works. It's how it's lawfully supposed to work, at least. And of course, there are some bad cops out there. There's some bad people out there. And who knows, maybe there's some laws I don't know about that's deportating uh, innocent people who are trying to become American citizens. And I totally agree with that. Bad things happen to good people. I know that for a fact because, as a person who's gone through cancer, there's stuff that you can't control that will happen to you. And the best we can do is try to elect officials that will represent us the way that we want to. And so far, I kind of agree with Trump on the deportation state of America. The only difference is that I would probably change how long it takes to become an American citizen. The information about becoming an American citizen and the safety of illegal immigrants as they're becoming an American citizen, because it almost seems like they're being targeted by people who don't want them here or people who want to scare them for some reason. Because I've even noticed I was watching CNN the other day because I try to watch different news stations all the time so that way I can kind of gather information. And I was watching CNN the other day and they were saying, do not go get your citizenship. And I was like, hold on, no, go get your citizenship. We're not, I can agree it's wrong how long it takes to become a citizen. I think that if you're hardworking and you're a good person, you should be able to pretty much become a citizen in a week. And basically, all I think that we need to do is we need to take into account that we need to keep track of these illegals coming into our country, and we need to make sure that they're becoming legal citizens and they're not committing crimes. Because if you commit a crime and you're an illegal citizen, I'm sorry, but I think that that's a lawful thing to send you back to your country. And then if you've been in hiding from the American government, not paying your taxes, not being a good citizen, I have to pay my taxes and I don't complain about it. Honestly, I think even people that pay their taxes that are Americans, they shouldn't get deported, but they get arrested. And so, what's the second best thing? We're going to fill our prisons up with all these people who aren't paying taxes. And so, the best thing to do is to send them back where they came from or send them to another country.
Dylan,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be paying taxes.
Buddy, have you
No.
been making tax fraud?
No, but I 100% agree with everything that you are saying.
Yeah.
One thing that, like, because like like if you go try to like I'm going back to like whenever you're saying don't go towards getting your citizenship or else you're gonna get deported. Legally they cannot do that. So that's gonna be
Yeah.
entrapment, which then that will be going against anything that we stand for. Like hell, like with a certain case of one of our friend, well, somewhat of my old friend. He went to our school. Let's call him Timmy Turner.
Is he who I'm
Yeah, yeah,
thinking?
yeah, yeah.
All right.
Timmy Turner.
Yeah.
Um, so Timmy, he went and tried to have some intriguing time with a 12-year-old. He just barely turned 18. Okay, that is horrible, by the way, guys. Well,
He's kind of
he-
always been a freak, though.
yeah. No, but anyways, so he kind of went over and started trying to say like, "Oh yeah, no, the way that they caught me was entrapment." But it's illegal entrapment. There's differences between legal entrapment and illegal entrapment. Legal entrapment is, of course, you're going to be going to commit a crime that the police are known about. So let's say the police get tipped off for a drug deal. They can go in and do all of that. Or the police is getting talked about, trafficking. Then they can go in, deal with that. The one thing that they cannot do is sit there in a citizenship where people go and get citizenship. They cannot sit there and wait for illegals, aliens to come up and then go take them because they're not supposed to be there. That's not how it's supposed to work. That's going to be illegal entrapment.
Exactly. Well, it's if you want like another example of illegal versus legal entrapment, look at it this way. So let's say your state passes a law where you cannot touch this certain object. Let's say it's like a basketball that is like a trophy or something, and it is illegal unless you are given permission by a state official to touch this basketball, right? Okay, so that law is now passed. It is now illegal to do. And then you see a police officer say, "Hey, come over here." And you walk over, and because he's a police officer and he has authority, you walk over and he says, "Touch that basketball," and you touch it, and then he arrests you. See, that's illegal entrapment. You will win that case almost immediately. The difference between illegal and legal entrapment is that, let's say, with our buddies' terms, he was doing an illegal act even though he was caught. Or even a better example, let's say if you've ever heard of the term like a undercover cop doing drug deals or something like that. So like they go out and wait outside of a gas station that's well known for drug deals, and they sit out there and they basically offer every single person, they're like, "Hey, do you want to buy drugs? Do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that?" And then if the person says yes, that is not illegal entrapment because they agreed to doing something illegal even though they knew it was illegal.
Yeah.
And that's the
So-
difference between legal and illegal entrapment.
Yeah. So to piggyback on what you said for your term, like with the basketball and stuff,
Yeah.
for people that not understanding why that is illegal entrapment, it's because the police officer has a higher authority. He is hired from our state government,
Yeah.
or on some terms, federal government, to make sure nothing's going off. For example, FBI. In Utah, we have an FBI station that is right by the MEP station. I know that because I went to that MEP station, and that was the backup plan. If anything went wrong, go to the FBI building.
Exactly.
Those guys are federal employees. But like, for example, like let's say Lehigh Police Department, Salt Lake City Police Department, they are hired from the state. The thing is that either way they have higher authority than you do, and therefore they can say, since they are in charge of the state, they can, if they say, "Hey, do this," and following their orders, because you need to follow orders from a police officer. If you do that and they arrest you for following that order, then that is going to be immediately, my apologies, immediate legal win. Because what were you supposed to do? If you didn't follow that order, you could get arrested for not following a peace officer's order. Junior officer sticker. And like, if you guys are only listening to the audio, I held up what county is this? Hurricane Junior Officer Police badge.
Rah!
So if you guys are only listening to the audio, that's what's happening.
That's what's going on. All right. Well, going back to the subject of President Trump. Um, with all of that being said, I'm gonna move on to what the military and security of our country look like. So the defeat of much of Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIS territorial uh Caliphate. These are some words I've never even heard. Caliphate, I think, in Iraq and Syria was achieved under his administration. Therefore, saying that he basically had captured a lot of ground. I mean, I don't know if you know how big the Middle Eastern countries are. They're not huge, but that's a lot of ground for how much ISIS is there. It's basically like the best way I can put it is the thing about ISIS members and the terrorist organizations overseas is that a lot of them are all over the place. So it's not like a normal military where it's just back and forth fire. It's like they're in every nook and cranny and you have to clear them out. It's like being a pest control person. So it's just basically we have to defend this country. And honestly, the thing about the Middle Eastern wars especially is that I do not agree with them at all. I think it's stupid. I think we should have pulled out a long time ago. However, I do think that under Joe Biden's administration, we did pull out the wrong way. We did pull out of Afghanistan and Iraq and Iran and all the Middle Eastern countries. We did um, have a military pullout the wrong way, if that makes sense. Why are you smirking?
So, okay, so okay. So while you're giving your whole speech, I'm sitting here and I just hear like some random ass noise, and it's not in my headphones. So I'm going like, why the fuck do I recognize that noise? I take off my headphones and I'm talking to my younger brother. I'm like, where is that noise coming from? Is that from Maddie, aka my little sister? And all of a sudden, I realize that it's the McDonald's. And I'm sitting there going like, why the fuck do I hear McDonald's? And my younger brother points at the TV going like, oh yeah, I know. I'm watching Smitty play Restaurant Tycoon. I'm like, dude, I fucking love Smitty, and goddamn it, that threw me off so hard. Because it's the VOD video for his Restaurant Tycoon.
Yeah,
And so the very beginning is just a still picture of his little milk bag
dude.
inside of a studio. It's I fucking sit there going like, no, the video's paused. Nope.
No, it's not.
So yeah, that's why I was holding it in my
Okay.
lap.
I was so
and then
confused.
like
I
that.
was like, why is he laughing?
Yeah.
But anyways, back to the subject. All right. Stay on
Anyways,
topic. Creation of the United States Space Force. I actually was really excited about that one. As a new branch of the United States military. So Space Force, I'm really excited for because it's basically like a Air Force, except for it's more focused on defense, so air defense, and space defense. So mainly their main focus is basically
have a Call of Duty Ghosts.
exactly. No, it's a militarized space. So basically, ever since the Cold War, the Russians were always talking about how they wanted to militarize space, and it's been an accomplishment for a long time. But originally, it was ran by NASA, and as most people know, NASA is not a government funded thing. Like, it's not a government run thing. I mean, it is funded by the government. So basically, what happened was that he decided to make a military branch out of it because then it would be run by the government, not run by, um, privately owned companies, if that makes sense. Because NASA
Yeah.
is run by other people other than our government. Because when JFK started NASA, and when he helped start it, yeah, he helped start it and the government helped start it, but it's not a government thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's basically like an office.
Wait, so what is SpaceX? because I know it's also like a space thing from Elon, and
Yeah.
I remember hearing about how Elon wanted both SpaceX and Tesla to become part of government material, and I know that ever since Elon has been out of the White House and office, what does that mean for both SpaceX and Tesla? Because I know Tesla's out of the equation; it's not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So
So with SpaceX, as far as I know, I think that Space Force is actually working with SpaceX right now.
okay.
I do believe though is that what happened was that it kind of seemed like Elon, at least from my view, from my perspective, and from the perspective of sources I've read about it, because I have studied that topic before. I think what happened was that Elon was almost, it was like he was trying to promote his business more than what the country needed, and then Trump was looking at it at a standpoint of that just is money basically going down the drain that we could be using to solve other problems from what I could see. Um but I do believe that SpaceX is going to have a lot to do with the government in the future, because I want to see SpaceX work with the government honestly, because of how much limits they have pushed, especially where it started out as just a privately owned business and now it's starting to work with actual military programs, which I find really cool. It's like Star Wars, you know. But no, and basically that sums up the topic of the pros of Trump's accomplishments while he was in office. Are you ready to start the negatives?
Hold on, Cappy. So, in my Twitch chat, Master Cappy, aka Mr. Cappy,
Yeah.
commented, going like, "Why is this head so weird talking about you?"
What?
That's what I'm saying. Freaking, it looks like for me, it kind of looks like an egg.
Bro. All right.
Well, it's because of how I cropped your webcam. I made it so
Okay.
compromised.
All
He
right.
said it's so compromised as soon as I said that.
Dude.
Should I fix it? How oh no.
Bro.
Cappy takes a screenshot.
All right.
Hold on. So for people that don't understand how big the US is compared to European like countries, and like Asia countries and shit.
European.
Think, well, to bring up the size, because Middle East is about the same size as a lot of like Germany, France, and like stuff like that. But like, it's a little bit smaller. So like for example, I can take a 30-minute train ride in Germany to go from like across Germany.
Yeah.
Okay? That's across the whole country.
Yeah.
A 30-minute train ride from in the US will get me about what, fucking 3 cities away?
Yeah.
Wait, no, from Frankfurt over to France. That's what I'm thinking about. So like somewhat in the middle,
Okay.
but like some trains, like it took either 30 minutes up to an hour. But still thinking about that though, like a 30-minute train ride is 2 cities maybe.
Two
2 or
cities?
3.
Yeah.
Cuz it took what, Lehigh to Orem almost an hour.
Those are cities in Utah.
Yeah, those are cities in Utah. Well, like it's 4 hours to go across Germany? Well, 4 hours, because Utah is pretty. If you want to go
Yeah.
across
Well, and
train,
I understand
like
that, but you have to remember most of these troops were moving on their feet. And also, you have to remember that pretty much every single household held some type of an ISIS member that was returning fire towards the Americans. And so, on top of everything, they also weren't afraid to die. It's like when we were fighting the Japanese. If you ever studied the Japanese were not afraid to die.
Where the fuck did that come from?
What do you mean?
Where did that pop out of?
What do you mean?
Your talk just right there. Where did that come from? We're talking about going across, and then all of a sudden ISIS shooting at us. What?
Well, you were talking about the Middle East. I was confused. What do you mean?
I'm talking about scale size.
Yeah, I'm talking about skill size too, but I'm saying why it took them as long as it did and
Okay.
how that was a good accomplishment because even though it was such a
I see.
small country, you have to remember that there's like lots of these ISIS members and Al-Qaeda members at this point in time that were returning fire towards the
Yeah.
Americans, you know? That's all I was saying. But
Yeah.
now into the negatives finally. All right. Okay. This is one
Dude,
that
it's been 40 minutes.
this
That's
is
crazy.
one that was talked about a lot before this
Here, I'm gonna
upcoming
put
term, and
this.
also probably one of the biggest reasons why he lost the term that Joe Biden won. And it's the handling of COVID-19 pandemic. So critics say Trump downplayed the virus
Oh.
early on, delayed critical federal response, and spread mixed messages about the masks and vaccines. Public health experts believe that the lack of coordinated national action contributed to higher infection and death rates. His administration clashed with scientists and the CDC, leading to confusion and mistrust. So, the thing about this that I've learned so far is that the COVID-19 pandemic, it was all bad, right? It
Yeah.
started with Trump in term, right? And Trump's about to run again or lose, his presidency to, another candidate. And that other candidate was Joe Biden. When Trump was in office, he was kind of almost downplaying the virus, saying like, "Oh, we'll get it under control, like we'll figure out a vaccine," worked on the vaccine. He actually had vaccines that he had come up with that were working really well, and he tested it out on himself before anybody else. So the first human test for the vaccine was actually Donald Trump. I don't know if you know that fun little fact. So he came up with a vaccine, and this is where it kind of gets interesting and where I draw the line with the Democratic Party, at least the Democratic Party when it comes to Joe Biden, is that after Joe Biden went into office, at that point in time, we had a type of medical equipment that helped, not stop the spread of COVID, but helped people with COVID, so help people that were already affected. Joe Biden pulled that drug off of the shelves, tried to say it was an unusable drug, and so the only place that you can now get that drug, I don't know if you know this, but is actually in Mexico. And so when we got COVID-19, I remember one time my grandma, she was on her way to Mexico and she saw it on the shelves in Mexico and was like, "Dude, there's no way." And she actually imported it to America, which I don't think is legal. But we won't talk about that.
Yeah, that's really illegal, guys.
So
If you want my non-expertise, don't do that because you're importing drugs across the border.
but all things aside,
From Mexico,
did I just
from
incriminate my
Mexico
grandma?
to US. You just you just sold out, dude. Thank you for the police tip. Bro,
SWAT
we're
team
gonna
knocking
have-
on my grandma's door.
we're gonna have the DEA showing up to your grandma's front door. Hey man,
No.
if I get a call to do a run in, I'm sorry.
Dude, no, but anyways, he took the drug off of the shelf and then he came up with a vaccine. And at the point that they had come up with this vaccine, and if you study what's in the drug had chemicals in it, certain chemicals that cause cardiac arrest over time, which means that it kills you slowly. It causes blood clots, and then it also causes liver failure. So even though, yes, it was preventing COVID-19, it was also causing all
good.
these other things, and it just wasn't doing a very good job. And even after the vaccine was given to everybody, the spread of COVID-19 was still running like wildfire. Still to this day, people are getting diagnosed almost every single day with COVID-19, and now it's to the point to where most people are immune to it. Their immune systems have built up an immunity. Same thing with the Black Plague. The Black Plague is still around, and it still kills people every year, but just not as many people because we built an immunity to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like if you think about it, like hell, I had COVID like almost a month ago.
Yeah,
And so like even though that I am vaccinated, like cuz I got vaccinated cuz my dad wanted me to, and then I could also get a bigger pay raise because I was vaccinated.
exactly.
If you like for people that like I don't know if like like Mexico gave this, or like other countries besides the US, but the US was actually allowing bigger pay for if you had the vaccine. And so like my family was struggling a little bit because like some people lost their jobs and stuff because of COVID. So I ended up getting the vaccine, and I started going to work, and then I started getting a bigger pay raise than a lot of other people. Like other people were making probably hell, like this was also my first job, but people were getting paid maybe like 11 or 12 bucks while I was making 14. That's how big of a pay raise that stuff was. And so not only did a lot of Americans go rush in to go get vaccines, but they were also doing that stuff to like get the drug to even possibly make sure that you don't get it. And that's why like getting that stuff off the shelves is such a big thing,
Yeah,
because as D Spider said, that could cause cardiac arrest, stuff like that. And so that's why it could be a very horrid thing if that was still on the shelves.
exactly.
And so like that huge shock wave what really hit us, and all of a sudden people are wanting everything.
Yeah. Well, and then it's also one of the things that kind of frustrated me with Trump during his last days of his term was actually the fact that he was fighting with scientists and CDC members that knew what they were doing. They had spent their whole life going to school and learning medical things about pandemics and learning about these things,
Hold
and
on,
then he thought he would know better. Sorry,
my recording just ended.
bro.
I don't
I
know why it stopped.
I have it recorded. If you want me to
Okay,
just
cool,
do it.
cool. Yeah, no, you know what? Yeah, how about you just post it on both of our accounts?
I'm gonna post it on both of our accounts, and then I want to make our own YouTube for like me and you, like our shared channel, because I've been wanting
Dude,
to
that
do
would
that for a
actually
long
be
time,
sick.
anyways. So
Honestly, yeah, just say fuck it and just make this our shared channel.
yeah, right. But and then also one of the things that is known as a con, at least in the eyes of what information I gathered, was the zero tolerance policy led by family separation at the U.S. and Mexico border, which
Oh.
sparked national and international condemnation. The travel ban, so that was often referred to as the Muslim ban, was criticized and discriminatory, even though later versions were upheld by the Supreme Court. Many of his policies were viewed as overly harsh and inhuman, even by some conservatives. Okay, the No Tolerance Act did kind of not really piss me off, but it did kind of mess with me a little bit because I agree with the no tolerance against people who come across the border, because you have to
Yeah.
think about it this way. If you're deporting people that don't speak much English and you're deporting them using officials that don't speak their language, and then you deport them back to their country, how do you know there's not other people that were with them that are family that were got across safely? Because I watched a video the other day of people who were getting across the border, and a border patrol guy stops them and he arrests a bunch of them, but then a couple of children got away. That's random children that are split apart from their parents, all because we tried to do the no tolerance policy. And I agree with that. That's horrible. And yes, it's kind of their own fault that that happened, because obviously you're not
Yeah.
supposed to come in illegally. But at the same time, we have to realize even though those people were coming in illegally, the No Tolerance Act basically says that we can still send those people back to their country even if they don't have their child. We'll try to look for their child, but there's no promise that we'll find them. Therefore, meaning the parents are never going to know what happens to their child if their child, I don't know, somehow goes missing in America. Like, let's say they were traveling in the desert after running away from the officials and get dehydrated and unfortunately pass on in the desert. Nobody's going to find them for years and years, and the family most likely won't even get notified because they're in another country. Therefore, they have no clue what happened to their, 6, 7, 8-year-old son that disappeared. Shut up. 6,
Dude,
7. No,
my feed on Instagram, dude, is absolutely horrible. Like I was talking to this girl that I'm talking to. Dylan knows who, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name drop on stream.
Yeah.
And freaking, we were talking, and she just goes, "Yeah, no, like my feed is absolutely horrid right now. Like a lot of my stuff is becoming like 6, 7, like a bunch of brain rot stuff." I'm going,
I
that's why I
swear.
rarely, yeah,
There's
that's why I
gotta-
rarely
there's-
get on Instagram now.
There's gotta be like some type of a weird, like brainwashing part of it. I swear to God, it's just like, it's like the Nazi cartoons that they used to make.
Oh, like the propaganda stuff.
Yeah, propaganda cartoons. That's
Yeah.
what I imagine. Because
It,
it's like totally just making us so stupid. Because like now every time somebody says 6, 7, we immediately stop using our brains, turn off our brains completely, and go 6, 7, 6, 7.
hold on. I gotta bring something up that's
What's
coming
that?
from my Twitch chat real quick. So if you guys didn't know, freaking my Streamlabs, the thing that I'm using to record and stream this podcast, completely crashed for a minute, and then I had to reboot everything up, do all this. Well, I'm looking at my chat, and I restarted my stream, and all of a sudden all I see is "welcome back," and as soon as I say I'm not gonna name drop, Cappy goes Ashley. Actually, no, that's an Emily. And then as soon as me and D Spiders go like 6, 7, all I see is 6, 7.
6,
It's like those
7.
night memes.
Mega Knight. See what I mean though? This brought us off topic. This made us stop using our brains enough to just be like 6, 7. You know?
I didn't even realize. I
Like-
didn't even realize that we did that.
See what I mean though? It's propaganda, dude. They're trying to get us.
Dude,
Get your tinfoil hat on, bro. They're gonna get us.
Social media is just our biggest fucking fall. It's
It
just
is. It's gonna be the fall of our country, I swear to God. Because they're gonna be like,
Fuck
Trump's
you,
against
dude.
6, 7. You should kill the president because he's against 6, 7. They're gonna start doing shit like that one day. I'm telling you.
Okay, guys. That is highly illegal. Don't say what Dylan just said.
I was saying it in an educational sense, so it's not illegal.
Did you know the perfect way to kill the
No.
is if you go up to-
Shh.
How old
That's
are you?
illegal. All right. Well, and then on top of everything, there's 2 more things that I want to talk about. So, he was impeached. I could not come to terms with this because technically he was impeached while running for president. And technically the president who's in office during the term that they are like running is still president until the what do they call it? We're sworn in. Until you're sworn in, the other president is president. So during the whole time that you're running for president, even if you are already president, you will remain president until the other person who wins, or if you win, is sworn in. So basically what happened was he was impeached during the time that he was running. So he was actually impeached twice, according to what I could find. It says first in 2019 for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. And from what I understand, he was actually technically the impeachment was revoked because he came back. And then he was impeached again for the January 6th Capitol riot because apparently he was at fault for that. And I don't really know because I don't really have an opinion on this. I did at the time that it happened because I've kind of been, just due to the fact that my family is, I've kind of been like full bore MAGA my whole life. And just recently I've kind of been making my own opinions rather than listening to what my other family members have to say. Are you
I
smoking on...
fucking stubbed my toe.
Ow! I was just about to say, are you smoking on your anxiety pen? Have you ever seen that? Shit, the brain rot! It's
Yeah.
getting me! Ah!
Dude, hold
Sorry.
up. I gotta go hit off my anxiety pen.
Off your anxiety
no.
pen?
No. Okay, so this is gonna be a bigger topic for
Yeah.
a second. I have recently decided to try to quit everything.
Yeah.
I have now been 4 weeks sober of alcohol. 2.5 weeks sober of weed,
That's awesome.
and after this one, I am not buying any more nicotine.
Man, I am definitely not as good of a person as you. Look what's on my desk. Don't worry, guys. I have my medical card. I use it for
Like the
medical
cra-
uses, though.
The crazy thing is, though, is that I'm actually, like right now, I'm actually trying to go through the medical process to get myself that card.
Yeah.
Because for me, if you didn't know, I have horrible sleep insomnia. Like I
Yeah.
cannot sleep.
Yeah.
And I spent if you haven't realized, Dylan, if you look at like my active hours, I am awake from 5 a.m. until 3 a.m.
Dude. You need some sleep, dog.
Can't you see the circles underneath my eyes, dude?
I can. There,
I am so fucking tired.
dog. You need to get some sleep.
Dude, I kind of look hella fine without glasses, though.
What do I look? Do I look better?
Dude, you don't look like a 40-year-old Karen
All right. Shut your bitch up. Nah. I can't see shit without it, though.
Welcome back, Cappy. Dude,
No.
as soon as I stubbed my toe, Cappy goes, "Is he shitting?" No, I stubbed my toe so
Okay.
fucking hard. Talking about shitting, I really do need to go take a shit.
All right. Do you want to take a break for a second?
Here, sure. If you want to keep talking, you can. I just really need to go take a dump real quick.
All right. All right, guys. Well, we're taking a break for a little while. This is a perfect time to talk about our podcast. So our podcast, we talk about things like politics, daily life, trends, video games, basically anything we want to. So there's not really a full set agenda on what we talk about. It's basically just whatever subject we decide to dabble on that day. And so far it's episode 1, but we're very excited to bring you more episodes. And yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind, continue watching and following us on this journey of starting a podcast and joint YouTube account. And yeah, let's hop right back into the video. All right. And then one of the other cons is the Capitol riots. I'm sure you heard about January 6th. So after losing the 2020 election, Trump refused to concede and repeatedly made false claims on widespread voter fraud. His rhetoric and actions leading up to the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol were seen by many as inciting violence and undermining democracy. So from what I could tell, I honestly, in my honest opinion, and I know don't take this to heart because it's just my opinion, but I don't think he was inciting violence. I think that was just something that shouldn't have happened. And also, all the people who were at that riot that were quote unquote MAGA, I just don't think they were MAGA because they didn't I was reading their signs and stuff from some of the writers. They didn't have anything written on there that we believe in. They were just like, Trump, Trump, yeah, Trump. That was it. There was like nothing that made any sense on them. Whereas like if you look at other riots that have happened, there's obviously a certain agenda they're trying to push on their signs. Whereas why is my camera moving? Why stop moving? Hold on. This might take a minute. But yeah. Where'd he go? He just walked up and left.
Fuck. My peaches spilt juice all over.
Alright.
No, but like I agree. Like if you look at some of this protests,
Yeah.
like for example, like sorry. Anyways, so like the like there was one where like there was an extreme protest where this actual airman
Yeah.
um set himself on fire for a free Palestine thing. And I've watched it probably like 2 or 3 times and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like cuz like he did it in front of a bait like at a base.
Yeah.
He doused himself in gasoline, lit himself on fire and just screamed free Palestine.
Yeah, I don't think that really made a difference. I don't understand why he did that.
Yeah, no, like the weird thing is that like he recorded himself doing all of that,
Yeah.
and people ended up posting it on like social media and stuff like that, and like that's actually how I bumped into it in the first place. Was
Yeah.
I was on Reddit, just reading along.
Yeah.
Came across that video, dude. And that shit's fucking disturbing.
Yeah.
Like I get that. I mean, to burn himself is so boring.
All right.
Cappy.
Now that's just wild. That's just wild.
Cappy. That's crazy.
Not honestly.
He'd eat it. Yeah, no, but like, hell, I'll fucking. Whoa, no! Rip. Honestly, that is a valid timeout, though.
Yeah. No. I mean, like, I just don't want you to get banned for it because that's crazy.
Yeah. Hold on, but like, I'll show you the thing.
The video. Are you gonna show it to me on Discord?
Yeah, I'm just sending it to you on Discord.
Sending me the video on direct, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. I got direct open.
Oh, yeah, that oh fuck, yeah, that's the full video.
Oh shit.
Dude, no, like it disturbs me. And that's saying stuff.
That's crazy.
Why is my Discord on this page? Like on this screen. Oh no, that would have been bad.
Proceeds to show
wa-
the entire chat your Discord.
Dude, I almost posted it on my general in my Discord.
Oh no, it's a Reddit video. Of course it's gonna have the full thing.
Yeah, dude. Like, have you ever seen this video?
I'm not a robot.
Like,
Parking meters.
parking meter.
It's having me choose all the parking meters. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, okay. It's Aaron Bushnell. It was right after I left. It was the
Hold on, I'm watching it.
Israel embassy.
Of the United States Air Force. and I will no longer be
You can
complicit
skip like a minute in.
genocide. I'm about
Make
to
sure that
engage
it's
in
muted,
an
too,
extreme act of
on your stream.
protest, but compared to what people
So I can't listen to it on stream either.
Probably don't. But like, dude, it is fucking horrible. On that, like, that's the difference between like,
Holy shit!
yeah, that's the difference between peaceful and extreme freaking stuff.
Holy shit!
Yeah, he died on scene.
Does he ever fall down?
Yeah. It's 2 minutes and 16 seconds in.
That dude's a freaking unit, though.
Well, like if they looked at his stuff, he actually died while standing up and all of his joints locked up, and so he was stuck in that position
Holy shit!
in his autopsy.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Nah, that shit's
Did you-
got me shook. I'm so glad I did not share a screen with chat. Oh
No, but
my
dude-
god.
Dude, like he chose the most painful way to die.
For what, though? That's what I'm saying. I mean, I understand not wanting to support killing innocent people, but you knew what you signed up for, okay? You finish your service, and then you go run for an office, or you try to make an actual difference rather than ruining your entire life over fucking bullshit in Washington, you know? That didn't make a single difference other than it killed one more innocent soul.
Oh yeah, it was in Washington. Okay, never mind. I thought I read it in Israel, but no, that it's the Israeli embassy in Washington that he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but as you read, it's like the protest, um, the whole forum about how he did that is
Yeah.
a U.S. soldier named Aaron Bushnell went out to the Israeli embassy in Washington, stood outside, and set himself on fire in protest against the Holocaust in Gaza. He was yelling "Free Palestine" several times until his last breath while standing up. Whenever his bones locked up and stood upside for 20 seconds. 20 seconds, he was already gone, standing up.
That's so horrible.
It wasn't until Bushnell collapsed where fire and rescue, police, and others came up trying to detain the suspect, not knowing that he was already gone.
Fuck.
But like that's the thing that like people need to realize is that like what's the point in that? Like sure you could have showed something.
Yeah.
Like sure like oh I did something big. Oh my god, wait. Okay. That would have been bad. On my stream,
Yeah.
my webcam was tilted a little bit off, and I had my chat behind my webcam, and all I see is letters behind my webcam. I'm going like, did a part of that just fucking show? I was about to
That
say,
would've
all
been
right, bye,
bad.
Twitch.
All right,
bye,
see ya.
Twitch.
See ya, Twitch. It's been nice knowing you.
Guess I'm going over to Tumblr.
Right.
What?
Or Kick or something like that.
Yeah, kick.
No, that's what I would do. I'd go over to kick. I did for a little while when I first got in. That first time.
Oh yeah, because of Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but the biggest thing that I don't understand personally is like why would because of course I get that he was trying to protest,
Yeah.
but there's different ways of protesting. Instead of
Exactly.
doing an extreme one that could end your life, which in this case his goal was to end his life.
Yeah.
Why unalive yourself knowing that this could either A, not even make a point, or B, just ruin the chance that it could help.
Yeah.
Because for example, with some protests with gun violence, Kyle or whatever his name was, walked around with an AR-15 on the back of his shoulder, and that's his Second Amendment.
Yeah.
He has the right to bear arms.
Exactly.
But then people started rushing him, and he showed the reason why it is important to have your Second Amendment right
Yeah.
to bear arms. For me, I used to carry a Canic.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of buying another gun just because of people that are that stupid to come rush up, and I don't know their intentions.
Well, and
But
that's what I mean is that some of these people are willing to die for their beliefs enough to the point to where they'll kill anybody else that it is necessary. And that's also where it goes back to like the Muslim side of things for the Muslim beliefs in the Middle East. A lot of them, because of where they think they're going, and I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm not saying it's right, but where they think they're going and where they think they're going to end up, basically is just saying that they are going to, die for this cause and then go to whatever their heaven looks like. And so basically what they're doing is they're putting us in danger, they're putting themselves in danger, and it's just not okay to have them in our society if they're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
And that's my personal
Yeah, no.
opinion. But
Yeah, I 100% agree with that too, because there's just 100% difference on what you should and shouldn't do,
yeah,
and like what is your survival instincts tell you if you know that you're carrying a weapon with you,
yeah,
you have one possibly loaded in the chamber,
yeah,
and hell, there's half a second to just rack.
yeah,
Okay, what would you do if you have 5, maybe 10 people rushing you?
exactly.
Yeah, my first thought, because I don't know what they're
Yeah,
planning to do, and there is a legal rule where if for cops, it's the 10 paces rule,
yeah.
where you
Where
if
they're
a
within
person
like 10
against
paces,
you,
you can execute.
yeah, yeah, if a person has a knife and is 10 paces ahead of you and starts trying to rush, you fucking pull out your pistol, and your goal is not to unalive them. Your goal is to make sure that you don't get killed.
Depending on state and depending on what type of a weapon they have. So if they have a firearm, most of the time it's shoot to kill,
Oh yeah,
and so they'll
yeah,
aim
no,
for vitals. Knife, most of the time they aim from stomach up, and so they slowly work their way up to the vitals, just because that way they can get them to try to drop. But some of those people, like, you have to remember, they're probably looped out on drugs if they're stupid enough to run at a cop and they want to die, and so they'll do whatever it takes to try to take you out with them. And so, at least from like the Utah standpoint, technically it is legal for a police officer to aim for the vitals if they have any weapon of any kind and they're threatening the officer's life. So even with the 10 paces law, it's still, if you pull out a knife on an officer, even if you haven't gotten within 10 paces and started running at him, Utah law states that Utah police officers will be able to end their life just like that, and it's totally legal. And then that's also where it gets into shady stuff. I had an experience not that long ago, and I can't talk too much about it because this case is still going on. But I had a young man who was executed in my grandma's front yard during 4th of July. He was drunk and he ran up on the sidewalk and accidentally hit somebody. He was arrested for what he did, and as he should. But the problem is that while he was arrested, he was in handcuffs. He was sitting on the curb and had a knife in his back pocket. The police officers knew he had a knife in his back pocket. They stood him up after finding out he had a knife in his back pocket. They went and talked to their supervisor, who was I don't know if it would be captain or whatever, but the main guy
Probably a
on the scene,
sergeant.
a sergeant. I think it was their sergeant, yeah. But they talked to him and they're like, what do you want to do? He has a weapon. He's drunk. Like, do you think we should just take him in? Do you think we should give him a warning? Do you think we should ask the people who almost got hurt or did get hurt if they want to sue? Stuff like that. And the captain literally said, stand him up. They stood him up off of the curb. He had he had his hands cuffed behind his back. And he said, do you have any weapons on you? And he said, yes, sir, I have a pocket knife on me. And he proceeded to pull his pocket knife out of his back pocket and try to hand it to him. It wasn't open, and this was a flip open pocket knife. Wasn't open, went to hand it to him. And the sergeant came up behind him, put his hands on his shoulder, took his sidearm, put it against the back of his head, and I'm talking point blank, shot him in the back of the head and killed him. And then
See, I like how you just barely said I'm not allowed to talk much of it, and then gives clear details on every single thing.
I'm just saying so far I'm just talking about what the case so far is released. I can't talk about if he's guilty or innocent or any of that. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
So I'm just
Okay.
saying what is on the report. He shot him point blank while he was in handcuffs and then proceeded to shoot him 5 more times in the back when he fell onto the ground and he fell onto my grandma's fence and broke my grandma's fence down when he fell. They took him out of the handcuffs and then said it was self-defense. And this is all on webcam. This is stuff that you can access on the government website. A lot of it they have blurred out, but there was blood that splashed on his body cam. He was so close. Like, it was an unlawful killing in my opinion.
That is insane.
It was totally insane, and there was no reason for it. He just ended, and I believe he was like 25, just married, like about to have a kid. He had a baby on the way, and his life was just ended just like that because there was a shady cop like that. And that's why it's a good thing to have rules like that, because then you can know that the cops are going to be safe if they get in a situation. But then that's also introduced another factor of shady cops using it to their advantage to get away with things.
Well, like the thing is that they could also use the cops' clothes and stuff like that as evidence if blood, came up onto their uniform. Because I like, for people that has never shot a gun,
Yeah.
if you are a certain distance away, blood won't come back at you. Okay, I think it's like 5-6 meters. Okay, so it's not that far. But if you're like right there, you can like diagnostics will show this, and like forensics will show this. If you shoot really close, and like blood comes back onto you, you are way too close. Like that is execution.
Yes.
And if because forensics, because I'm working on my forensics right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm working as an EMT, and then I'm
Yeah,
getting my
yeah, yeah.
police badge and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if they shoot and they can tell gunpowder is still on the body of the person that they did shoot, then they were way too close, because gunpowder comes out of the ejection barrel, and so that's a no bueno
Well, and then also
on
just
the police.
the entrance hole in the back of his head. That's a real one, because unless he was trying to cover his buddy and shoot him in the back, that's the only way that I could really say that it was a lawful shooting, is just if he was trying to defend his buddy. But the thing is that he was handcuffed, the knife wasn't open, it's all caught on their body cams, and they have proof that the body cams were messed with. So it's like an obvious that he did it, and yet it's been in court for almost 2 years now, which means that technically they can't say that he's guilty yet. So he's not even in custody. He's still a police officer out there in the wild because it was over a year since the case was opened. So
Yeah, see
that's
that's where I'm happy I'm out of Lehigh.
yeah,
No,
exactly.
or wherever it
That
is.
area, because there's a lot of shady cops out here. I don't know if you guys have ever been in Utah, but we're known for really crappy,
Horrible cops.
horrible cops. So,
And don't worry, I'm not gonna become one of those.
well, you wouldn't be a crappy one. You would just be a fun one, though.
I'll be that. Have you seen that video of the cop talking to the person like behind his truck? Going like, so I saw they got arrested. Like if you don't mind me asking, what did you get arrested for? Assault on a peace officer. Dude, like I want to be that type of cop, like the funny cop that could, like have jokes with you and shit like that.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
so, like,
Sorry
yeah.
to kind of pause the conversation for a second, but Master Cappy, I'm sorry I had to time you out for a second, but just please don't say stuff like that. That's just not anything that you like would think would get him banned if he said it. Just don't say it, because that's just not okay. Because even though,
I would have given him a warning instead of timing him out. So then,
well, it's just I was trying to get him out of there fast because those Twitch mods get you for like really fast.
yeah. Sir, I just found the 10 kilograms of coke in my trunk. I don't know how it got there.
I
but
don't know how
please
it got there.
keep me rolling.
Dude, I did.
Please.
We have an actual Lehigh police officer in our school now for our school cop, because you know how we got the security task force for our school.
Yeah.
Well, now we have an actual cop, like a legitimate cop, and
God.
she was in the hall the other day, and I wanted to. If you want, I can give you some. Okay. No, but she was in the hall, and
I've
I
never
I was
taken
like.
bread so fast.
I was like, hi, ma'am, how are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm doing good. And I was like, ma'am, I know that you're like pro keeping drugs off the street, right? And she said, yeah, why? And I said, well, actually, I have Coke in my bag right now if you'd like to buy it. And she was like, oh, really? You have Coke on you? And I was like, yeah, would you like to buy it, ma'am? Would you like to buy some Coke? And she's like, yeah, sure. And again with that legal entrapment, and I pull out a can of Coke out of my bag, and she just starts laughing, dude. Laughs so hard, and she just like is like, Dylan, go back to class.
Go back to class. You can get
Go
that right
back
on
to
my-
class.
Yeah, no, but dude, freaking, dude, like I think that would be a fun freaking job to do. Instead of being like out on the street, dude, be a school resource officer. Hell yeah, dude. Like don't get me wrong, I would have to break up some fights. I would have to do some dumb stuff, and it could be annoying. But yeah, never doing drugs, only coke, weed, LSD, crack. You know the
Alright.
basics. Maybe a little bit of
Alright.
crystal.
Alright.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Can you say that? Can you say that technically?
I don't know. I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna let it slide. If I get a warning, I get a warning. Dude, I love that because I already said it. So
I mean, yeah,
no,
but
I'm joking. As a legal thing, I am joking. I'm only reading off chat.
well, and he did say he's joking too, so I don't think it would catch him, but who knows?
Dude, no freaking. You want to hear something funny?
What's that?
So, I used to work at a pizza spot, and I've taken you to this pizza spot whenever I used to work there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name this or anything. Okay. Well, I just barely got out of a legal battle with them.
For what?
So they fired me for some uncanny things.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I can't name drop, Mom. Well, so
As she says the name.
yeah, my mom was. But anyways, to be honest with you, sometimes fair. I'm doing a podcast. Anyways, but so they fucking do some dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't drop the name. I just apologize for swaying. I'm over here. Yeah, but fucking anyways. So they freaking they they fired me for allegedly doing some dumbass stuff, like they've been inside of the freezer or like talking about another girl's areas. And I'm going like, what? Where are you getting this information?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't worked these days. like because they said that it happened Friday the 13th of this year. And so I'm super confused. I'm going like, I didn't work on Friday. I remember I was in the hospital on Friday.
Yeah.
What do you mean I fucking said all that stuff? Well, freaking, because like after a certain amount of time, I asked, like, dude, okay, who's reporting this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, it's only one person. I'm like, so one person has been saying this, and all of this is happening. But only her, like only she is saying it.
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah. And I go, nobody else has reported me or even said anything that I was doing any of this. And I'm like, no. I'm like, so what you're saying is that she should get me fired. And eventually, because like it was after I got fired that I asked all those questions. And freaking that's what happened was that, I got fired. And then I went through that legal shit saying that I could do my job if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
There came a time where I literally just said, nah. If you guys wanted to fire me off of one person's word that you didn't even know if it was true because you didn't get anybody else's evidence, what's the point?
Yeah.
And so I literally just said, no, I'm not coming back, and left.
I
These
don't blame
ads are
you.
tough. I'm not gonna. Yeah, no, but like why would I do any of that while I'm working?
All right, guys. Well, that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe the video if you guys are watching on YouTube. This is only episode 1, so we haven't actually gotten on any other platforms yet, but I would like to start posting things on things like Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, things like that, where you guys can listen to our podcast a little bit easier. And yeah, let's end the video here, and I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.